All right, so today we are diving into an episode of the WTX Jobs podcast.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. This host is something else. He does not hold back
Oh, really?
at all.
I like him already.
It's like we're going to be eavesdropping on a conversation about how politics and like internet culture are kind of like smashing into each other these days.
Yeah.
And you are going to want to hear this. Trust me.
I mean, that's kind of the world we live in now, right? Like it's all blurring together.
Totally.
We've got politicians making TikToks and like gamers launching energy drinks. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And this host, he is right in the thick of it. He starts off the episode. He is fired up about this Kamala Harris interview he saw.
Okay.
But specifically her focus on abortion rights. Like that was the thing that really got under his skin.
Interesting. And it's interesting to bring that up because like we were talking about before we started recording, like he actually identifies as pro-choice himself.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He mentions later on that he wants a partner who's pro-life.
I know people online were like losing their mind.
Losing their mind over
really about that.
Yeah.
But I think what's really interesting here, and this is what I really like about this host, is that he doesn't just want to like throw opinions around.
Right.
He's like, show me the numbers.
Yeah.
Like he's calling for more data and more transparency on abortion statistics.
Oh, wants the facts.
You want the facts,
Yeah.
which I think honestly is refreshing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it speaks to this larger trend too, right? Like people are questioning narratives more. They're like, I need to see the evidence
Yeah.
before I just believe this thing that you're telling me.
Totally. And they're forming their own conclusions, which is new, I feel like, in a lot of ways. It's not just like blindly following party lines anymore.
Exactly.
Which is interesting because you know how like we always joke about how people used to be like, I vote how my parents vote.
Right.
That is so not this guy.
Oh, no.
At all.
He's like the opposite of that.
He talks about voting for Hillary Clinton,
Okay.
then Biden,
Okay.
and now he's like low-key hinting that he might vote for Trump.
Wow.
Like, what?
Yeah, that's a journey.
Yeah.
That's quite a political evolution.
He even brought up that Russell Brand tweet asking how many people are thinking about voting Republican.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He's tapping into something.
it's like he sees this shift happening, and he's like, am I part of it?
Interesting.
You know what I mean? It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating.
And I think it all kind of goes back to that whole, like, show me the receipts mentality. Like, he wants to see the data before he makes up his mind about anything.
I like it. And it's like that about everything, not just politics.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he starts talking about influencers too, it's the same energy.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like he goes on this whole tangent about FaZe Clan,
Okay.
which they're like this huge esports organization that are like super popular on Twitch.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like big in the gaming world.
Okay, got it.
And he was like seriously impressed with their work ethic.
Yeah.
They did this whole 30-day live stream marathon.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and he was like geeking out about it.
Really?
Yeah, big fan of the hustle.
Interesting.
But then he turns around and like completely unloads on Mr. Beast and KSI and Logan Paul.
Wait, really?
Yeah. What? Like why?
So for those who don't know, they're like these massively popular YouTubers, like kings of the like viral challenges and crazy stunts.
Right.
And they just launched this new product. It's like a Lunchables competitor is what he called it.
Okay.
And he is not here for it.
What do you mean?
Like he's calling them sellouts. He's saying they're exploiting their audience just for a quick buck.
Wow. He sounds pissed.
Yeah, you can like hear the betrayal in his voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually.
Well, no.
It's like, on the one hand, he's like, I get it. You're an entrepreneur. Respect the hustle.
Like he usually loves that.
Right. But it's like, on the other hand, he's like, dudes, come on. You're pushing like processed food to your young fans. Like, come on.
I mean, I get it. Like, where's the line?
Yeah, where's the line?
You know?
Right.
And I think this is a bigger conversation right now
Totally.
about influencer accountability in general.
Like, are we holding these people accountable?
Yeah, like audiences are getting smarter. They're not stupid.
Yeah, they can see when they're being sold to.
Right, they can see through it.
Yeah.
And I think they're starting to demand more authenticity from these creators that they follow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not just enough to be entertaining anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we want to know that you're being real with us.
Totally. Like we want to see some realness, some vulnerability, some like actual apologies.
Right, not just like the Notes app apology.
Exactly.
Right.
Like own up to your mistakes.
Be a human.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. He wants them to be real.
Yeah.
Like he's holding them to the same standard that he holds himself to. You know what I mean?
Totally. It's like that whole transparency thing again. Right?
Yeah. Like don't pretend to be something you're not.
Right.
Just be real with us.
And that's what I find so interesting about his whole, like, commentary style in general.
Yeah.
Like, he is not afraid to, like, grapple with these things out loud.
Yeah, he's very much in his head about all this stuff.
Totally.
as
And,
well.
like, even if it means contradicting himself sometimes,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
which I kind of, like,
It
honestly,
makes it way more interesting.
yeah, it makes it human.
It does.
Like, he's a real person with real thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
And they change.
Yeah, and they evolve.
Yeah.
And, like, he's figuring it out as he goes.
Exactly. And it's like we're catching a glimpse of that thought process in real time.
And isn't that kind of what makes this whole deep dive thing so interesting?
It totally is.
It's like this weird moment in time we're living in.
It is a weird time.
Like, everything's blurred together. What's political, what's personal, what's good business. Like, it's all just mashed up.
I know. And it makes you think, like, what do we actually value anymore?
Right.
Like, in our leaders, our entertainers, ourselves,
Are we all just hypocrites?
maybe a little bit, right? Like,
Wow.
where do we draw the line?
It's tough.
Well, and here's the thing. We don't have those answers.
And we probably won't find them today.
Yeah, this is like a much bigger conversation.
It is.
But I think the important thing is that we're having these conversations, like
Yeah.
questioning things, being open to the possibility that, like, we don't have it all figured out.
Right. Like, maybe we need to be a little bit more open to other people's opinions.
Yeah, and less judgmental.
Yeah.
I think that's a good takeaway.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah, as you're listening to all of this, think about how you're navigating this crazy world we're living in.
Right. Like, be curious, be critical, but also be open-minded.
I like that. Be open-minded.
Yeah,
That's where it's at.
I think so.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on this deep dive with me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
This was a trip.
A fun one, though.